The next subject I want to talk about today is I talked about this subject earlier on in my earlier videos, but this subject I'm coming back to, I'm getting more in depth with it, which I told you I would do. This is talking about relationships, okay, and how to keep it thriving. A lot of people, I got the research that I did from people who been together for years, because you never, this is one of my quotes, never get advice from somebody that is going through it. Get advice for somebody who made it through it, okay? Because a lot of times people get advice from people that's single, miserable, and they want company, so they give you that advice so you can be miserable kicking it with them because they ain't got nobody. So what I mean is, always get advice from people who you see that are thriving in their life, in the relationships, in the love, and how they carry themselves. That's number one. Number two is the when you have an argument, when an argument happens, which is life and it happens, never talk about your personal business or issues with anybody else. Only God, yourself, and the other person, because those are the only people that are in that relationship. Everybody has their own opinions. Then when you guys work it back out, whoever you told, always looking out for your best interests, and they don't even want you to be with that person no more, to be honest. I mean, they tolerate the person, but after all that stuff you done talked about them, they don't even want to be with them, and they're looking at you for stupid. Why are you still with them? So when you're in a relationship, I know you want to get advice, I know you want to vent out, go get counseling. Go to your preacher, talk with yourselves, write a list, to each other. The things that you like, things you don't like. Compromise. These are the three C's. Compromise, convey, and communicate. Those are the three things that can help a relationship. And what I mean by that is convey feelings, convey the feelings that you have, and then communicate each other back and forth how you feel about each other's feelings, and then compromise to meet each other in the medium back in the middle ground, to disagree to agree. Number three, this is the thing that can save not just your personal relationship with your significant other, but this can save your relationships with friends, co-workers. It's a word, and look up the definition. Don't, like I said, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. This is just a perspective to give you guidance and tools. Um, and the word is empathy. Empathy, okay? And when you're in a relationship, and this is actually another one of my quotes, when two people fight, they're both right about how they feel, but both are wrong by not understanding how each other feels. So in the argument, you're both wrong and you're both right, you know. But you always got to come to a middle ground. And also, people that have relationships when one person's making more money, the breadwinner, than the other, never hold that over the person's heads, because what happens is you build a current, and it goes back to water. You build a current, and you're building dams in your relationships. And you're just making it toxic. And that's a metaphor of water, because we are all 98% water. So when you're in a relationship, the person in the love language is showing you the same thing in other ways. You might not see it because you're the breadwinner. I'm speaking to the breadwinner. So you might not see it because you feel that you're the one working all day, and then you come home and, but if you actually look at the whole picture, you'll see how much that person is extended part of you, because when you're here, they're there with the kids. They can be helping with the kids. So it's like they're an extended part of you. So in actuality, they're helping you maybe even more than you're helping them, you know? And it's just perspective, and it's empathy, and you can look at somebody from the other point of view, and like the person that is helping at the one that is home. It can be man or woman. I've seen a movie called Mr. Mom a while back, and in the movie, the guy was Mr. Mom. Did a whole lot of stuff, and he had empathy for women after that movie. He seen how women have to deal with it, and sometimes men got to look at that too. Women do a lot for us big head men out here. You know what I'm saying? And we really got to have empathy for that. you know, and a lot of people don't understand that because they have no empathy and no compassion. But that's the thing that can save all your relationships. I'll get in more into relationships later. And also, I said a comment on the last video. You put the backward. When people are backwards, they spend more time with their friends and their woman. And then it was. I remember Martin had this one comic, and he said, "See you when I see you. See you when I see you." And by the time he really wanted to see his woman again, she was already dating somebody else. Because all that time, she had her needs, and he was too busy with his friends. And then when he wanted to go with his friends said, "See you when I see you," because they're going out with their woman. So you got to understand time is very crucial in a relationship too. You don't want to waste nobody's time, you know. And time is never really wasted because you always learn from each experience. But you really don't want to waste time in love, though, you know. And that karma, when that karma comes back, and it will come back, you'll have empathy because you will have no choice. Because life, if you don't humble yourself, life will humble you. So in relationships, in love, in life, it all comes back to water and empathy. So the next time a situation comes, don't be backwards with it. The reason why you have somebody on the side is because the one that you have on the front, the number one, is frustrated because you're not doing your part in a relationship. So then you have somebody on the side because you want to get away. And that's why you would treat the one on the side better than the one you have your number one. And the reason why you have one on the side because you're not treating your number one right. And you go over here to get a little peace, but you're the one causing all the chaos. It all comes back to self. Everything leads back to self, flows back to self. So that's the lesson for our relationships is the main keys to keep it flowing. And to build something, you must have the right tools and the right foundation. And empathy is a beautiful tool to use in love, life, and relationships. Thank you again. I'm John M. Webb.